we are coming closer and closer to what I like to call a nodal point. This channeled message is more for the collective. Everything is shifting. It's not just you, you're not making it up. Everything is shifting. And what am seeing now, and what I've been seeing honestly the past several weeks into months, is that we have multiple timelines kind of collapsing in upon themselves. And let me explain. When we have these individual timelines, we have these like personal timelines that we're on, right, where we can shift our own personal timelines. But then sometimes the earth as a collective has timelines that will collapse in upon itself. And there are many reasons for that. Sometimes the reasons are destruction of large amounts of people, meaning, unaliving for mass groups of people. Sometimes that's literally genocide. And sometimes it's just energy is smashing down into itself and compacting. And this is really the big reason for multiple timeline shifts or timelines being compacted down, is that we are coming closer and closer to what I like to call a nodal point. So if you look at time as linear, which is not but human brains, so stick with me. If you look at time as linear on a timeline, there's these certain dots which are nodal points on the timeline, in which all timelines of Earth, all timelines that you can experience or be on, will experience big important events that are important for everyone to experience. There have been these big events all throughout humanity, all throughout history, and we are coming closer and closer to one of those events where all timelines must experience this one thing. So timelines, as they're able, are kind of like compacting down onto each other. And we've had several the last few weeks or so, the last couple of weeks is what my guide's saying, several of those big giant timelines collapse in upon itself. And it's a huge shift in energy. You can literally feel it. If you are used to the energy being around you, and you are used to tapping in, and you are sensitive to changes and sensitive to energy, you've absolutely been feeling this. It's like it's becoming slightly more dense so we can expand back out, right? It's like when a star dies and goes like this, and then it explodes out after it gets into its like little black hole state and goes, right? Explodes out. You like my science there? So you're not making it up. Everything literally is shifting. And part of this great shifting is coming more into an awareness of ourselves, coming more into our own intuition. And everyone's still doing this on their own path at their own pace, and that's totally fine. But what's happening here as a collective is more and more people are being triggered into listening to their own truth and questioning people that they hear out here, right? Learning how to trust themselves first, and then trusting what other people say based off of what happens in here, instead of what's been the default for thousands of years, is what my guides are saying, which is the collective would usually trust someone out here in like a leadership position, or someone where they've like put it on a pedestal, and then completely ignore their intuition, even if their intuition was completely against that. It's flipped now. It's flipped. More people are paying attention here, and then out there going, yeah, I don't think so. That doesn't match. That doesn't line up. That doesn't vibe. So it's kind of cool, because we're at this very important time in history where people are starting to realize their own power. Ooh, I'm getting the goosebumps. And people are coming more into themselves, and people are not taking crap anymore, right? People are standing up for justice, and people are getting angry about injustice. It's really amazing. And if you have felt this shift in your energy, you're going to notice not just stuff out there, but you're also going to notice stuff in your own personal life. Things in your life that are no longer serving you are going to start to crumble and fall away. And it's like you might be a little shook by it, just a little bit, but you're not even really going to be upset. As soon as you like stop and think, and you go, wait a minute, I kind of don't care. I kind of didn't want that energy in my life anyway. That's not as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. That's happening because these timelines are collapsing in upon themselves, so we can get to what this nodal event is. Now, I've asked my guides a lot what the nodal event is, and I'm not even getting it's like one particular thing. It's like a very compact time period where multiple things are happening. Like big truths in the world are starting to come out. Humanity is going to start to get its history back. All of this stuff is going to be returned to us. What I'm also getting to is this large contact event that first contact specialists like Bashar, okay, that's not the only first contact specialist, that's just one example. For Bashar's channeling and the predicting of what is the most likely to happen with this large scale contact event is at the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026, I believe is the most recent one. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I also have heard 2026, 2027, but I think the most recent one, because it changes based on us, right? All precog is just a snapshot of the energy right now. So as humanity changes and shifts and becomes more ready for this first contact event, then it can become closer and closer, or if we weren't ready, it would become further and further. But I think the most recent is the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you've heard something more recent that's different than that. So it's like that first contact thing is going to be a giant shock wave through people who are really committed to this 3D energy, and it's going to be this big mass awakening, almost like your heart center. Like I see your chest being cracked wide open, and not you, but these other people that haven't like grasped onto this energy. It's these other people who have been like swimming around the energy, and their intuition is trying to tell them something, but they're so entrenched in the 3D energy that they can't listen to that intuition, and that they can't face it because it's too much, because it goes against all these other human things that they've been taught, like that we are the only ones, that we are like God's special children, which we are all God energy, so we can't be God's special children. And then also God wouldn't ignore everybody else who just doesn't happen to believe that certain viewpoint. It's a very 3D energy, right? And so all of these things, these limiting beliefs are going to be shattered, and what people are actually going to do is be able to see these larger pictures of what's really happening, right? They're going to be able to really feel the energy. They're going to become more tapped in to who they are. And what's amazing is you are part of that first wave who has awoken before those people who are super entrenched into this energy, right? So there are people like me who help people like you awaken and come into their own intuition, right? And discover things about themselves and learn and grow. And then behind you are going to be more people waking up who are going to wake up more recently than you. And you are going to be able to help them should you want to. Free will, baby. But should you want to, you're going to be able to help them kind of find their footing and feel more comfortable and feel safe and feel like they're not losing their mind, right? It's going to be stuff like that. It's going to be humanity helping humanity, which is going to be part of our big shift into showing that we are ready to become an intergalactic or part of the intergalactic community, right? That's just part of it, is us helping each other instead of us butting heads and fighting for power that doesn't even really exist, because that's all just up here. Fighting for resources when there actually are abundant resources for everybody. That's a limiting belief that has spawned these different events that happen around the world. This stuff is going to start to get better. This stuff is going to start to grow and flourish, and abundance of all types is going to start to come forward more and more and more. Anyway, I know that was long. Let me know what you think and how that resonates for you. Drop it in the comments.